I'm going to demonstrate how to make muffins using the muffin method. I'm going to use 2 bowls for this method. And put my dry ingredients in one bowl, flour, my sugar, salt, and baking powder. And then I'm going to stir these with a whip and make sure that they're fully incorporated. And I have some lumps, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to stir it and make sure all the lumps are gone, so I don't have little lumps of flour in my mix. There, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to make a little well in the center for my wet ingredients. In the second bowl, I'm going to combine all of my wet ingredients. Start with the eggs, so I can beat them just a little bit, break them up for the other ingredients to combine with them. The eggs are beaten, and I'll go ahead and add a little bit of oil. My melted butter, I'm going to add slowly so I don't get little chips of butter in it. All of the wet ingredients are at room temperature, so they'll be able to incorporate well with the butter. Imagine having cold eggs hit the butter. You'll have little chips of butter that don't combine into your mix fully. I add a little bit of milk, and I'm going to add that slowly while I'm whipping the mixture also, so it doesn't chill the butter. Once the wet ingredients are combined, I'm going to add them all at once in the well I've made in the dry ingredients. If I add half the mixture and begin to stir it, I'm going to have lots of lumps. I'm going to start in the middle of the mix and just start stirring the wet into the dry ingredients. And as I go around, I bring a little bit of the dry ingredients into the center and just keep incorporating it from the sides into the center. The trick with muffins, you don't want to overmix them or they're going to be tough, or you can get something known as tunneling when they bake. You don't want that. You want a nice fine grain to your muffin. So I'm going to continue to mix these muffins just until it's all combined. You may have a few little lumps at this point, but you know that you've taken the time to combine all your dry ingredients, so you know you're not going to get little lumps of salt or baking powder in it. So I'm going to mix it just until all the flour has disappeared from the sides. A few more rounds, and I've got it. That looks well combined. I don't want to overmix it. Now to add the blueberries to the mix. So in they go. So I'm just going to fold it in. I'm not trying to do a bunch more mixing at this point. I've already mixed it. I'm just combining the blueberries. That looks good. And now I'm going to line my pan with some muffin papers and scoop the muffins. Now I'm lining my muffin tin with papers. You don't have to use papers. If you choose not to use papers, you need to grease the pan lightly so you'll be able to get the muffins out. Now I'm going to go ahead and scoop these. That seems to be the most convenient way to do it, since muffin mix is a thick mix. I like to garnish the tops of the muffins with a little bit of sugar to give them a little bit of shine. You could also drop a few more berries in the top of the muffin for a garnish, just so everyone knows that they're blueberry muffins. We don't want them to be confused with apple muffins or corn muffins, that's for sure. And these are going to be baked at in a 400-degree oven, so they'll get a quick rise and great color on top. And you bake them just until they spring back when touched on top, or you can stick a skewer in one of the muffins toward the center of the pan, and if that comes out clean, you know they're done. If you bake them in too hot of an oven, they'll brown quickly on top before the batter is completely baked in the center. Too low of an oven, They won't rise quickly. They'll kind of spread out on top like little pancakes, and they could be very dry. So make sure you bake them in a hot oven and keep an eye on them.